In this video, I talk to you about 5 must-read biographies and memoirs that I highly recommend, and that will be important for you as a person in your personal and professional journey. Hey guys, I am Sankalpita and you're watching Book Geeks India, which is a channel where I make book related videos. So like I told you, in this video I'm going to be talking to you about 5 biographies and 5 memoirs that I read recently or a little time back. It doesn't matter. What matters is that all these books are wonderful. They are written by people who have shown immense strength and faith, and they have shown you that hard work and perseverance can take you places in life. So in this video, I bring to you 5 such books that I have thoroughly enjoyed and I think you will also enjoy. And now, because I have 5 books to talk to you about, let's just begin. Book number 1 is a book that I just read recently. It's an amazing book by this author called Yashika Dutt. It's published by Aleph Book Company. I picked it up on my Kindle through my Kindle Unlimited subscription, and I think that was a wonderful decision because I learned so much about being a Dalit. Now, I know I'm jumping forward. Let me tell you the name of the book. So, this book is called Coming Out as a Dalit, a memoir by Yashika Dutt. Now, this book tells us the story of this author who's a journalist. She's pursuing higher education from New York and she has been a journalist for a long period of time. She actually captures the essence of being a Dalit. What life is like if you are a Dalit, what life means if you are a Dalit. What Yashika tells us that all these years while she was growing up, during her childhood, during her college education, during her job stint, during her higher study stint, she used to hide her caste. She was always ashamed of who she was and where she came from, so much so that she had made it a habit to be very subtle about it, to not answer direct questions about her caste. And when people would ask her questions about her caste, she will subtly say that she's a Brahmin.
मेरे पेरेंट्स ने मुझे ये बोला था कि अगर कोई आपसे आपकी कास्ट के बारे में पूछे तो आप या तो बोलिएगा कि आप ब्राह्मण हैं और या आप बोलिएगा कि आपको पता नहीं या आप कुछ भी और बोलिएगा, पर किसी को ये मत बताना कि तुम भंगी हो। अगर लोग ये कहते हैं मुझे कि आप दलित जैसे दिखते नहीं हो, तो कैसा दिखना चाहिए एक दलित इंसान, एक दलित महिला को? ऑप्रेस्ड, दुखी, grateful.
Now, why she did that? There are a lot of reasons and layers to this story, layers to Yashika's story, which she very beautifully, very poignantly tells us about her reasons for coming out and showing and embracing her true self, who she is, embracing all the struggles that her forefathers and great leaders of her caste had undertaken on their behalf. She also opens up about her childhood, her poverty-ridden childhood, basically because of her father's alcoholism and the struggles that she and her mother faced because of it. But she was determined to be something in life, to strive for bigger things in life, and that's what she did.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not Bengali, but I do write that, and there's a reason, because it's not a real caste name.
And I think this is a very beautiful journey. This is a book that should be read by people from every caste, because it kind of opens a lot of perspectives, a newer way to look at things from different point of views. From a Dalit point of view, a lot of people complain about reservation. Now, I don't agree with everything that the author talks about. I don't agree with all the points that the author talks about, but somewhere, and I also kind of understand what she's been through, what are the struggles and challenges that she has been through. So I think it'll benefit us as a society if we read such books, if we try to understand the other's perspective too. And this book will be a welcome step in that direction. So I will definitely recommend this book to my viewers. Do read it because I think it's a wonderful read. Even if you don't agree with everything she has to say, still you'll end up learning so much about Dalits, about Dalit history, about the struggles they have faced for centuries, and about the very subtle advantages that have been bestowed to us vis-a-vis the hidden challenges that they still continue to face in today's India. The next book that I read and I absolutely loved and I would definitely recommend to you is this one, Becoming by Michelle Obama. I think I spoke about this book on my channel when I was talking about my TBR. I had planned to pick this book up in January and I think, yes, I read it in January. So this is a book which is a wonderful read, no doubts about it. Michelle Obama's becoming is honest and candid, and it's very relatable. So even if you are reading about the journey of this wonderful woman who went on to become the first lady of the United States of America, even then, her journey as a woman, her journey as a student, her journey as somebody coming from middle class or even low class background and striving to achieve something bigger, a better life for her. That journey is so relatable that I just can't even explain. Now, this is a lengthy read, as you can see. This book is huge, it's really thick. It'll take you a lot of time, it might even take you a month, but don't let that deter you from picking this book up because it's amazing. You will not regret it. Now, before I read this book, I used to view Michelle Obama only as the wife of Barack Obama, but after reading this book, I see her in her own light. I see her as an independent person who is much more than the former First Lady of United States.
I am from the south side of Chicago. It was a typical working class community.
So she has written about her journey from her childhood. She comes from a very humble background. She used to live in the south side of Chicago in a family with not many means to boast of, but her parents were always hardworking and they wanted their children to be something. So she talks about all the hardships that she has been through. She talks about the schools that she went and how a very subtle kind of racism exists in America, even though if it's not very clear cut. Still, there is a hint of racism almost everywhere in America. And she talks to us about how different kind of schools work. Okay, some black neighborhoods have black only schools where education is not given that much importance, and how she had to change her school because she wanted to get a better education. She then talks about her higher education. She became a lawyer. She became a very well-paid individual, a young professional who was getting paid a lot because of her intelligence, because of her degree. She also talks about how she met Barack Obama, how they fell in love, and somewhere down the line they got married, they had children, and somewhere during these years she also realized that her true calling is not law but it's social service. That's when she decided to do things for women and children specifically. Certain things which are very different from other biographies is that her journey is very special because she saw her husband going from a regular social worker to getting in the presidential race and ultimately becoming the president of United States of America. So that journey is very difficult because she tries to balance it out, and how it was very difficult for her to make a call between family and her own career. She decided that in the end she's going to support Barack and she will be there for him, which is again a very brave thing to do because not many people can sacrifice their own independence and financial independence, especially for somebody. I think her whole journey has been wonderful, has been magical. The work that she did in White House while she was there, all the different experiences that she had while she was in White House.
So little of who I am happened in those 8 years. So much more of who I was happened before. Michelle and Barack Obama aren't special. There are millions of Michelle and Barack Obamas all over the world.
And even after that, how her life changed. She's very candid, she's very honest, and this is a book that speaks to the woman in you. This is also a book that speaks to you as a person. You learn so much about this strong, independent woman who made a name for herself. So yeah, this is one book that I would definitely recommend to you guys. The next book that I will recommend to you is Educated by Tara Westover. I saw this book on Bookstagram and I also saw a lot of YouTubers talking about it. So I decided that, I have to read this book.
I read this book because Michelle Obama told me to read it. I asked her what she was reading, and she told me Educated.
Now, this is another book by a brilliant author who is rather relatively unknown because she's not that famous. She's not a personality. She became famous after she wrote this book. But apart from that, this is a book which tells us the story of an ordinary girl born and raised in extraordinary circumstances. So this is a book about survival. This is a book about determination and grit to do something for oneself and change your circumstances no matter where you are born or how you are raised. Tara Westover was born into the family of a survivalist. They did not believe in organized hospitals or medical care. They did not believe in organized education. They were so much against establishment. They never got her birth certificate. They never got her enrolled in a school. And they also never let their children or anybody in the family go to a hospital or doctor. They believed in the end of the world and they diligently prepared for it.
I grew up on this beautiful mountain in Idaho. But because my father had some kind of radical beliefs, we were a bit isolated. So I was never allowed to go to school or to the doctor. In my family, we were isolated. We went to church, and there were certainly people in the community that would reach out and try to intervene. But I mean, in the state of Idaho, it's not illegal to not school your children. There's kind of a vague requirement that you give them a comparable education, but that was never checked. I mean, I never took an exam. I never wrote an essay.
So Tara grew up in such a household, being always prepared for the end of the world. So she used to can peaches. She used to be an assistant to her mother, who was a herbalist, and she used to make all these concoctions for herbalism. She used to always have a bag handy in case the end of the world days arrived. You don't actually see such things. You see them in movies, in fiction, but this is a real story, and that's what is so different about Tara's story. So Tara started realizing that there is something wrong. That happened when she started interacting with more people. She understood that she needs an education, and how she started teaching herself English and maths and grammar, and somehow she managed enough that she could be enrolled in a university. Finally, when she went to a university, it was then that her whole world changes. It was at the age of 17 that Tara first set foot in a classroom. She had no idea what schools were like. She had no idea, absolutely no idea, what teachers and classes are like, and she actually read about very serious things like civil rights movement and Holocaust at the age of 17. Before that, she had no idea of the world that existed beyond those mountains of Idaho and her small town.
I had no idea what an education was. I'd never set foot in a classroom before. We say that education is a universal right and everyone should have it, but in practice it isn't really. And certain people get access to a lot and other people don't get access to very much. Like 2 Americas. And people have no idea what the other side, how they live, what they think, what their lives are like. So the 2 sides no longer feel like they're even part of the same country.
And the book's done fantastically. It's really resonated with people.
Yeah, no one's more surprised than me.
So Tara writes about her journey, but ultimately she also writes about the grief that she experienced because she had to cut ties from her family because they simply did not understand her. They were survivalists and she was not. And their worlds grew so apart with time that they had no option but to cut Tara away.
For everybody in the room who's watching and anybody who's watching who needs to hear it, you said you can love someone and still choose to say goodbye to them.
Of course, she was devastated, but she also became very strong. She wanted to prove herself. She wanted to get an education for herself. She did so well that she went on to study at Oxford and Cambridge, 2 of the best institutes in the whole world.
Still don't have a GED or a high school diploma, but I do have a PhD.
But you do have a PhD.
So that is Tara's story, and she has such a beautiful way of writing her story that you will be amazed and also appalled by what she has gone through. You should definitely read this book. I would definitely recommend it to you guys. The next book that I will recommend to you guys is by an American author, Indian American author, Paul Kalanithi. Now this is a heart-rending memoir which will definitely make you cry. I did cry while reading this book. I did cry when it ended. I was so devastated. Paul was a 36-year-old neurosurgeon in training who was about to finish his complete education when he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, stage 4 lung cancer, and he was given very few months to live. He knew that he will die.
Won't live long enough for her to remember me. And so the time is what it is. Bad case. That ending is going to be very rough on you and your family.
And this is when the idea of this book started to appeal to him. When he realized he doesn't have much time to live, He started looking for the real meaning of life. He started finding answers to many questions about life and death. He wanted to know what makes a life worth living, especially so when you have so few days left to live. In this book, we learn about Paul's journey, we learn about his childhood, we learn about his family, his relationship with his dad, with his mother and siblings, we learn about his wife, we learn about the bond that they share, and finally, in the end, Paul dies. He dies in March 2015, and this book ends abruptly because Paul was never able to completely finish it. It is a half written book, and just that fact, and also Paul's beautiful writing, makes this book something of an experience that I think everybody should have.
I fell in love with Paul as I watched the care he took with his patients. When the cancer advanced and Paul shifted from surgery to writing, his palliative care doctor prescribed a stimulant medication so he could be more focused.
I think Paul has this unique craft of writing. If he didn't want to be a doctor, he could have well been a writer. He writes that well. His language is beautiful. His words carry such deep meaning. And you should read this book. You should definitely read this book. The next book I read, I think a year back or maybe 2 years back, but the story is so good that it stays with me. This is Born Again on the Mountain by Arunima Sinha. Arunima Sinha's story is also one that will shock you to no end and that will inspire you to no end. It will tell you that no matter what your circumstances, no matter what choices or situations life throws your way, you can come out as a winner if you are determined enough. Arunima Sinha was a national level volleyball player who was going to give a job interview when, on the night before the interview, she was supposed to go to this place and she was traveling by train from her town to the place of interview, to the destination of interview, and it was in that train that she came across some thieves, some miscreants who started misbehaving and who were essentially thieves. They wanted Arunima's chain, and she, being the gutso woman that she was, refused to do that. So they got agitated more so because they were challenged by a woman. A woman denied them and they just couldn't bear it. So what they did, they hurt her, they beat her, and they threw her out of the moving train. She fell onto the tracks. She hurt herself so bad. The entire night she was not found. Nobody found her because this incident happened in the night, and when in the morning a few local villagers found her, she had lost so much blood, her leg was gone. People thought she would not survive, and it was after hours and hours, even after the villagers first saw her, that she was finally taken to a hospital and given proper medical attention.
चलती ट्रेन से उसे उठा के बाहर फेंक दिया था, लखनऊ से दिल्ली आ रही थी। दुर्भाग्य ये था कि उसी समय दूसरी ट्रैक से ट्रेन आई और मैं उस ट्रेन में टकराई, फिर नीचे गिरी। पूरी रात में चिल्लाती रही, कहाँ से हिम्मत आई मुझ में, मुझे भी नहीं पता।
24-year-old Arunima lost her leg and she also lost her sporting career. But she was not a woman to give up. She wanted to still do something which nobody had done, and with that kind of determination, she set out to become a mountaineer. Now you would think, how can a woman who has lost her leg become a mountaineer? She was very determined. She sought the help of Bachendri Pal, who herself is a very accomplished mountaineer. She got herself enrolled. She sought help from all places possible, and finally she became world's first female amputee to have climbed Mount Everest. As of 2019, she has climbed the highest peaks of all 7 continents, including Antarctica. That is the kind of woman Arunima is, and this is a story that will tell you to cross all your boundaries, to get out of your comfort zone and achieve what you desire the most in this world. It will tell you that you have the capability to go beyond your physical strength, to go beyond your physical threshold, your mental threshold also, and do something that you have always wanted to do.
हिलेरी स्टेप साउथ समिट के करीब जब मैं खुद पहुंची, मेरे शेरपा ने एक जोर से झटका मुझे दिया कि अरुणिमा वापस चलो, तुम्हारा ऑक्सीजन खत्म हो रहा है। आप अपने टारगेट के इतने करीब हो, अगर कोई आपसे ये बोले कि अरुणिमा वापस चलो, कैसा लगता है? अरुणिमा जिंदगी रही दोबारा ट्राई करना और एवरेस्ट समिट हो जाएगा दोबारा। 1 से 1.5 घंटे बाद मैं टॉप पे थी। हैंडीकैप आदमी यहाँ से होता है, यहाँ से नहीं। अगर यहाँ से जो आदमी विकलांग है तो नॉर्मल आदमी भी विकलांग है। मैं चाहती थी कि अगर मैं जिंदा ना जाऊं, वीडियो मेरे इंडिया पहुंचा देना, मेरे यूथ तक चला जाएगा, क्योंकि मैं चाहती थी कि 11 अप्रैल 2011 को मेरा एक्सीडेंट हुआ। 21 मई 2013 10:55 पे मैं टॉप ऑफ द वर्ल्ड पे थी, ऑलमोस्ट 1 से 2 साल के अंदर।
This is a very inspiring story, an extraordinary story of a very ordinary woman. and this is a book that I will definitely recommend to you. So guys, these were the 5 books, 5 biographies and memoirs that I will certainly recommend to you. Do let me know if you have any biography or memoir recommendation to me. You know that I always enjoy non-fiction books, and among non-fiction, biographies are my favorite, all-time favorites. So please do that. If you have any recommendations, let me know in the comment section below, and tell me, how did you like this video? Should I keep making such videos about non-fiction books? Because I have been reading a lot of non-fiction recently, so please tell me. I just need to know what you think and what you want, so do that. Please comment below with all your suggestions and recommendations. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that like. Also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and until the next video, which will be pretty soon. And also guys, share this video with your friends and families. You guys have not been sharing my videos and I'm really upset. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you with another video super soon. Until then, bye. Thank you.